Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm in the 60 series today. Man, it's been a bit since I made a video. A lot's gone on over the last month. And I'm not even sure you're going to be able to hear me, but I'm going out on a highway here right now. I'm actually on the highway from that street. What I'm running, oh, this thing's all crooked. I'm running the 60 through its paces. I've been doing a little bit of work. I don't know if you know, but I finally got the passenger seat put in to match the driver's seat. I bought these seats from Corbeau a couple years ago, just because, well, at the time I wasn't sure I wanted to refinish the stock seats. I have all the stock stuff that goes in here. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to refinish it or not. So these come with very simple brackets, supposed to fit the 60 series. So a simple bracket is just a flat, 4 pieces of flat stock welded together that bolt to the seat, and then they'll have some kind of feet that come off that would bolt to the car. Well, the driver's side was fine. It's very weird setup these Land Cruisers have. It's got like one high bolt in the front, one low bolt in the front, and then the back it's got two kind of flat things like this that bolts go through. I'm going 60 miles an hour right now. 60 in the 60. What I'm trying to do is get a feel for what might be wrong. Like I said, I jumped on this thing. I know a couple of things I need to do. The front driver's side axle, the Burfield, like the CV joint and the solid axles, it's clicking even going straight. So at a minimum, it's completely out of molly grease. Worst case, it's screwed up and I got to replace it. They're about $120 to replace that Burfield joint or stub axle. The gas tank, I'm actually trying to run the gas tank down and I'm below a quarter, and I don't know how accurate this gauge is. I could run out of fuel, but I'm trying to run it down because I filled it up about maybe 6 months ago. I got the windows down too because this is my air conditioning. My air conditioner, I got it wired up and I pushed the button. Nothing worked. I pushed it again and the magnet pulled in on the compressor, and then it was making some god-awful noises. So I don't know if the compressor might be jacked, but I mean, it has the ability to have air conditioning. I'll have to take a look at that. But I filled up the tank, and as it sat, it was leaking like out the top somewhere. I don't know. At first I thought it was like the overpressure from like your charcoal canister not working. But then I'm gonna get a lot of traffic behind me because I'm going slow. I'm gonna get off the road here. I don't know if you can tell through the back, but I'm out in the middle of kind of nowhere. This is a highway that kind of loops around. I'm about 5 miles outside of town, and it kind of makes it's like a bypass around town, I guess. Like if you're coming southbound from the 40 and the 17 is closed, they'll cut down and come around this way and rejoin the 17 later on. Anyway, I'm gonna on the side of the road here. I don't know if you could hear any of that stuff, but so I filled up the tank and it was just pouring out. Like this, I parked this in the side yard by the small garage, and I would walk out in the front of my house and I could smell gasoline. And I'm like, holy cow. And I went back there. There's a puddle on the ground. What it's doing is it's constantly dripping, so the puddle's always wet. It's not evaporating. I don't know where it's coming from. It could be like there's a couple of like plates. I think there's a side one, a top one, and then there's the plate where the sender and all that goes in there. And it could be one of the gaskets. It could be like the charcoal system because there's like 4 vents that come off. I don't know, but I got to figure that out. So I'm running the tank down. I sucked out 5 gallons or so, maybe 10 gallons. And then it's been like at a quarter, and I'm running these kind of long things here to run it out. But it's actually really fun. You know, it's definitely one of those weekend things, you know. It's not like, hey, this is my dedicated daily driver, this is my off-road thing, this is my overland thing. No, this is a weekender that you can do stuff in. At least the way it is right now. But I'll show you. Like, I personally, I think it, I don't know if you can hear the engine over the, like, the wind noise, but I think it's pretty good. I haven't done much to this. I'm still in the phase of, you know, getting everything fixed up that I want. The only thing I did to this engine was I fixed a couple oil leaks, kind of, and the biggest thing I did was I took off the carburetor and I put on a fuel injector. So we're gonna climb up this little hill here and go back the other way, southbound on this little highway. So second gear, 3,000 RPM, just, you know, barely have my foot on the gas. Because if you try and rev it up, you're like, oh, it's kind of weird. Maybe I just forgot how to drive a manual. Third gear, 2,500, $3,000. And then into fourth gear. You can see this thing here is the, I don't know if I have enough cable. This is the computer right here for the fuel injector. It's just like a little screen. It's the Holley Sniper kit. And this is with the window open. I don't know how loud it is on camera, but in here it's not loud. But I'm used to this. You gotta crack your second window so it takes the pressure off your ear. I'm just cruising at 60 right now, 2,500 RPMs, fourth gear. It's beautiful. I'll tell you, I got 1,000,001 excuses why no videos have come out. Some are lame excuses, but some are legit excuses. I thought it's about 9:30 right now in the morning. I thought before it got too blazing, I'd take the 60 out and have a little fun with it. I really do enjoy taking it out on the weekends, kind of doing stuff like this. And what I want to do is I want to do that front axle and see if I can figure out the gas tank, and then do the same thing but go progressively further and further, like maybe in an hour and a half away and then an hour and a half back, something like that. But I tell you what, I mean, look, no hands on the wheel. I haven't done anything to alignment, suspension, nothing. The only thing I did is I had the tires that were on the 80 series, the factory wheels from the 80, and the previous owner of that 80 had put Yokohama all-terrains on it, and they were fairly new, so I kept them. I threw that on this because the tires on here were, I don't know what they were. They had some terrible 80s centerline wheels on here that I gave away. So I got the 80 series 16 by 8s on here with Yokohamas, and it's pretty dang smooth for what it is. I mean, again, yeah, I mean, you should be able to kind of get a feel. You don't see me fighting the wheel or anything, and I'm just cruising along, laying my arm across, and that's pretty good. Remember, I got this thing for like, suppose $6,000 or something. Been sitting in a field for 10 or 12 years. I got it started, changed the oil, and that's kind of where we are, other than that fuel injector. Well, I'm gonna take this back. We're gonna probably grab the 80, because I haven't driven the 80 in a month. And I'll kind of continue on and tell you what's been going on over the last month, what's been going on with me, and what my reasoning is behind not making any videos. I was just driving home, and I remembered I totally did a typical me and didn't finish talking about the seat. So I'm gonna finish that right now. What I was saying was they came with simple brackets that were designed to fit the 60 series. This is a 1986 60 series, and so anyway, the driver's seat fit, you know, I say fine. Those types of things with those weird You know, I told you it's like nothing is uniform. It's all different. But basically, a little tweaking, a little bending with some big, you know, I got this one working. That one, I bolted on the seat, go to set it in there, and it hits underneath the passenger seat is this, think of a square box, metal square box, right? Like a shoe box. And it's the rear heater, all right? It's the rear heater. Cop just went by. He's like, "Are you filming?" It's the rear heater for the rear. Yeah. Imagine that. What it does is underneath the car, it brings two like lines off the radiator or, you know, the engine, comes up through the floor, goes through a little radiator there and goes back down. And then there's a fan in there that when you push the button, the fan kicks on and it blows across the little radiator and blows hot air into the back seats. And it actually works really good. And it sounds like old school, but there's one on the 80 as well. So 10 years later, 1997, 80 series has one as well. And when it's snowing and freezing out, dude, that thing is kicking. It works pretty good. Anyway, the back of the seat bracket hit on it. It was like this far off, almost the whole height of the rear seat heater. So I'm like, you know, all Land Cruisers there's no like most cars where there's like a million options. Like, what'd you get? Did you get an XL? Did you get an XLT? Did you get a FX4? Did you get a Lariat? There's not all these things. It's just Land Cruiser base model. Now, I'm not talking about the new stuff. I'm talking about these old ones. It was Land Cruiser base model. You didn't option anything into these things. So I'm pretty sure they all came with that. So how Corbeau, which Corbeau's they got some really good seats. They're really good prices. Oh my God, those are not speed bumps. Those are, what would you call these things? It's almost the width of my wheelbase. Anyway, yeah, so Corbeau's good. How they missed that, I don't know. Did I call them? No. So I sat on it, literally. I'm talking about a seat. I sat on it. No, so I didn't do anything with it. Year and a half, I got this seat in. I mean, I'm really the only one in here. So I decided, I'm just going to cut the back bar so the thing could slide down, and then I'll like remake it, weld it in there. After I cut it, I'm like, wait a minute, that thing bolts right to the seat. Now the seat's going to hit it, not just the bracket. So what I did was I made new feet for it. I could have made a whole new bracket, but the front lined up fine, and I could make the two rear feet where it bolted in to the car this much higher without pitching the seat forward. You know, it would still be sitting at a nice angle. And then I had to weld that piece back in that I cut out. So I just went to the Home Depot, got some flat strap. I think it was 1.25 inches, 3/16. Drill a hole in it, put in the vise, hammer it, bend it, because they're like these weird swooping little things. Weld them on there. I tack weld them on there, fit it, good, weld it, weld that piece in, put the seat on, it's in. So that took me a couple hours, but what it did was, I'm like, all right, it's been super hot or raining, and so I've been working a little bit on that, and it got me remotivated to do some more stuff on it, because this car is really, like I was saying earlier, it's really fun to drive for like a weekend, or like what I'm doing right now, just cruising around, you know, like just cruising, waiting for the monsoons to hit this afternoon. So I'm making a list up. This is the second time I've done this. The other day, a couple weekends ago, I did this where I ran, it's about like probably 10 miles. I went 10 miles, 10 miles back, 10 miles, 10 miles back. Did it 3 times and then came home. And it was 110. What I was trying to do is see if it would overheat or if it would get hot. And it didn't. It didn't. It stayed, you know, this is an analog gauge. It stayed right in the middle So that was pretty cool. That was that test. Plus, am I gushing oil? Is my power steering still leaking all over the place? It doesn't seem to be leaking that much, but it may just be low on oil for all I know. I'm so sick of the thing that stopped me working on this 2 years ago, the power steering pump and the fuel tank. I mean, it literally kicked me in the junk, like hard, real hard. Okay, so we've gone from the best looking Land Cruiser, in my opinion, the 60 series. I think is the coolest, most iconic looking one. It's the one you always see in the movies, right? Even there was some recent stuff. What was it, Ballard or something? It was like a follow-up to Bosch, LA detective lady, with Maggie Q. She drives they always drive FJ62s though in the movies because they're automatics. But yeah, I think the 60 series is iconic for safaris and all that stuff, and the Middle East, and whether it be like Delta Force going in or terrorists driving them, I don't know, but they're very iconic. So we've gone from the best looking Land Cruiser to arguably the toughest, most capable Land Cruiser, the 80 series. We've jumped up 11 years. This is a 97, 86, 97. Unlike the Fishbowl, I've got this is all ceramic tinted. You can hear how quiet it is. The air conditioner's on. I'm going over kind of where I was, but I'm going to head off southbound, southeast. I'm going to do a little cruise through the desert while we talk. So where have I been? A lot of information. I think it's interesting. It's something I want to share with you guys. I like watching YouTube as well, and I like watching this kind of stuff. Vehicle stuff, cooking, camping, off-roading mainly. The stuff I do. I like to try and I find, stuff that's obviously all-encompassing, overlanding, a lot better quality, and camera crews, and all kinds of stuff. But one thing that really annoys me, and maybe, again, this might be a me thing because I've evaluated that and found that when it's probably me, but this really annoys me, is these channels that have a pretty big following. Like, say no matter what, they get their, say, 50,000. Let's just say 50,000. Maybe it's 30,000, whatever. They get their 50,000 views every video, no matter what it is. Maybe it's like a sponsor video. They're like, oh, look, the Jackery, It's so funny when you watch channels and you see what company put out money to every sponsor. To every channel. And they all are like, hey, this is the best thing ever. But then they don't talk about it and they don't use it when they really go out. So what really bothers me, because, let me just spit it out. You guys are like, what are you talking about? This is the exact opposite of what I do and what I'm doing today, and like my stream and everything. Is like someone will disappear for like a month. Something obviously happened, right? These are people that put out one video a week. And then they'll disappear for like a month. And they don't say anything. They don't post it on X or, tweet it on Twitter. It's supposed to be post on X now, right? They don't post it on X. They don't whatever, Facebook. Is Facebook even a thing? They don't TikTok, Ramalama Ding Dong, Instagram, post it on, there's a community post on YouTube. Nothing. And a couple of these channels, it just happened recently to a couple of channels. And these channels are huge Patreon channels, like, where people give them money, and that money is supposed to give you like insider info. I go and look on their Patreon, nothing. They're not posting on Patreon either, and yet people are still paying. I don't disagree with Patreon if you get what you pay for. But from what I see, people don't get what they pay for. And there's no interactions there. Anyway, they don't say anything like, look, we've had a family emergency, our child got sick, my wife is sick, I stubbed my toe. whatever it is, they don't say anything. And then a month later, they reappear and they're like, hey, it was one of your best videos. Great cinematography. You know, it's all the same malarkey. It makes me think it's some kind of AI bot that goes to these channels. It bugs the crap out of me that they don't say anything. And what I'm getting at is there's a disconnect there. They act like they're like, this is family and I love you guys, and you know, no, baloney. They don't say anything. I'm not saying it's like about money or whatever. I'm just saying that sucks. Because I want to know. I'm vested. I'm vested my time and interest in someone's channel. I'm not saying I need the gritty details, but it's like the one guy's like gone for 3 months and then just reappears. Everyone's like, hey, good to see you, man. Maybe it's me. I'm just weird and other people just don't care. You know, they're watching on their phones. If it's not there, they're, you know, death scrolling, whatever. I watch on my monitor at home because I like to see the quality of the outdoors, the vehicle builds, all that stuff anyway. It's weird, I know. Exactly. I just saw one of those orange 4Runners go by. I remember a few years ago when those were like the rage. It's like, oh my God, I'm gonna get me a Tacoma, whatever it's called, sunburst, it's a bright orange. I'm gonna get my 4Runner, and that everyone talked about it. When I say everyone, I'm talking about YouTube. And none of them did it. And I just saw one, and they are so obnoxious. Like, it's even bigger than a giant look at me thing. It's so crazy. There is one for sale. Oh, a GX470, nice. There's one for sale that's not selling, a Tacoma. And a few years ago, dude, that thing would have sold no matter what the price just because of the color. It's so funny how things change, and it doesn't take long for things to change today. That's why older cars like this, they're so great, you know? They're so great. Here it is, what is it? Almost I don't know, whatever, 25 years later. Okay, so start off at today is July the 19th, Friday. I think it's July 19th. Can't really, yeah, July 19th. 18th. Oh, shoot. Almost ran into that Kia. July 18th, Friday. Everyone's in a hurry for some reason. I live in the middle of nowhere, and there's people like behind me. That stupid Chevy just went by. I was like, I'm in a hurry. It's 10:30 on a Friday. Where are you going? There was one person that I didn't follow like stock. I just kept an eye on them. They were tailgating me, whipped around me. I don't know if I saw a finger come up, cut me off, and I'm just whatever, cruising. And then continuing to do it to other people. It was some lady. And I see her just, it's a 2-lane road. I see all the way up. Then I see her turn in by Culver's, and I slow down. I think I did pull into Culver's parking lot. She was in the next one over. I look, beauty salon. She was going to the beauty salon. That was the emergency. I'm like, what the F, man? Chill out. Okay, so at the beginning of the month, this is how long it's been since I put a video out. July 1st. I remember on my phone, I think, our July 1st, first monsoon of the season hit. And it was hailing like pretty good. And it makes me cringe because my 200 is sitting out there just getting beat up. Meanwhile, this is in the garage all cozy. I was going to put that in with the next video. Show you, hey, look, the first of the month, the first monsoon, we got it. And then July 4th comes. Some things happened at work to where I had to work a couple of Thursdays in a row, which is usually the day I like to go out because there's nobody out. Everybody else is working. So I had to work a couple Thursdays, so that puts me to going out on a Friday. So Friday, July 4th, I think it was a Friday, July 4th, my people at home, she's like, I don't feel good. Like, I don't feel good at all. I'm like, all right, what's going on? And I could see she was kind of like having a hard time telling me that she wasn't feeling good. And she took her little pulse. She's got a high blood pressure, I guess hereditary, because she's been taking, a pill almost her whole life, I guess, her whole adult life. And it's fine. So she has a good thing to take your blood pressure. She's got the little thing you put on your finger that tells you pulse and oxygen. And the O2 thing said like way low, like stupid low. It's like 70 something, 75, which it wasn't accurate. It's because apparently it turned out because her hand was really cold. But it was like mine. I took it and put it on my finger and I had 96, which is normal. But she was definitely like in the mid to low 80s. So I'm like, let's just shoot straight over to the E room, the emergency room, right? Because that's kind of the thing nowadays. You don't try to get in your doctor because no one can get into their doctor. That's what the emergency room is for. So I go to the emergency room, and again, being kind of in a rural area, it's not like wedged. We're the only people in there. We have 3 hospitals in town here. But if there's like a bad emergency, they have helicopters at each hospital sitting there. They'll fly them down to Phoenix or fly up to Flagstaff. If it's something major, we have life flights sitting at our hospitals, which I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I've never been a big doctor hospital person, but it seems like I might start being now with these stories I'm telling you. So anyway, I took her in there and I was there for a while, and she's like, look, just go home. I had to feed the dog. I had to feed the cats. I had to do all the stuff. And I'll call you when the tests are back. I said, okay. So it calls me a couple hours later. I'm sitting there just kind of stressing, She calls me a couple hours later. She's like, they're going to get me a room upstairs. I'm like, really? You're staying? She's like, yeah, I have pneumonia. So she somehow got pneumonia, which she's never had. She got pneumonia, and she wasn't getting, your lungs, oxygen wasn't getting in, and she was running in like the 80s. That's why she was breathless. She had like dizziness, headaches, all this stuff, because she wasn't getting oxygen. She ended up being in the hospital for 3 days. They wouldn't let her go until everything stabilized in 3 days. So, I'm stressing the whole time. It's like I'm going to go out to the dang forest and do some off-roading and cooking. No, I'm either at home taking care of things there that she normally takes care of, because she takes care of a lot, She takes care of the animals, feeding them and doing all that stuff. There's a lot. I have stuff I do, she has stuff she does, and together the balance, everything gets done, and it works really good. But without one, the other one is really plagued. The stuff she does, I can do. The stuff I do, she can't do because it's YouTube. It's the YouTube thing, I mean, she could do it if she wanted to, but she can't be Meatwagon is all I'm saying. Or Chris X, Anyway, that was super stressful. She came back home late on Sunday night. So that's the second weekend burn. First weekend got burned because of the weather. It went all monsoon. Second weekend got burned because she was sick. And now she comes home, she's on, she's got a still recovery. She's got like 10 days of antibiotics and steroids and all different stuff in case. The following weekend, she's not feeling so good. I think there was a week in between. I can't really remember. It was like 110 up here. It was 100 and something. It's 118 down in the valley. That's what we Arizonans call Phoenix. We call it the valley. If you look at it, it's a big valley surrounded by mountains. Anyway, down the valley, Phoenix, it was 118. it was stinking Africa hot. You know, it was bad. Sahara bad hot. You didn't want to go outside. The next weekend, like not on the weekend, but Wednesday, all of a sudden out of the blue, I'm like, dude, something's wrong. Something's wrong with me. I'm like, I don't know if I'm having a freaking heart attack. I don't know what, something was wrong. You know, I know myself. I know, like, you know, if you just fell down the stairs and impaled yourself on the banister, I know that feeling. You know, I know food poison, you know, I know my body. This was weird. I couldn't ID it. I'm like, what? Something's wrong with me. And I was actually feeling like I wasn't getting oxygen, right? I was feeling like I wasn't getting oxygen. And so I thought, what if I got pneumonia now? What if it's environmental, right? Because it's not like a cold. You can get it from something, breathing in stuff. Or it could be environmental, like, oh, it's starting to rain. Anyway, so I'm like, oh my God, take me to the emergency room. Feel like an idiot. Really weird. I'm sitting there waiting, right? There's one person there, whatever. I'm waiting to go back, and I'm sitting in the chair, and I swear I'm getting like dizzy. Like I have my hand, my elbows on my knees, and kind of leaning forward, and I'm starting to feel sick. And it's like I get mad, like it's pissing me off. I'm like, what's wrong with me? And so I stand up and I start pacing, and I feel better. Like literally, I feel like I can't breathe, but I feel better when I'm moving. Which means it's kind of, there's a lot of traffic down here. It was almost, what I was getting anxiety, which again, I've never had anxiety. It's a word, okay? I was getting stressed out about what was going on because I couldn't identify what the heck was going on. So the industry calls that anxiety. They also call it panic attacks, which I've never had anything like that. But, you know, I'm not too cool to say that, you know, there was something dude, I don't even know where the heck I'm at. Anyway, something majorly wrong. So I go into the emergency room myself, and I had to cancel working with guns for You Always Win. Later in the day, I had to cancel my stream. So I'm sick. Like, I don't ever like to cancel work like that. Is this guy gonna pull out? I'm waiting for a dump truck here. Something was really wrong with me. I thought, I'm gonna go to the hospital, and they're gonna do for me what they did for her. They're gonna give me a stinking IV. And that Tacoma was waiting for me. Sorry. They're gonna give me an IV and put me on some O2, and I'm gonna feel good, and I'm gonna get out of there in like no time. I never got an IV. I never got oxygen. They took blood right away, which they had to do tests. They did legitimate tests. They do enzyme tests to see if there is something wrong, like if you're having a heart attack or something. Like, I don't know why I'd be having a heart attack all of a sudden. Anyway, remember, a week or 10 days previous, she went to the hospital. Now I'm in there, and I'm pissed off. I'm mad at, not them. I'm a very good patient. You know, I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at the situation, but I am very kind to the people who are trying to help you. I can't understand why patients are rude to people that are literally trying to help you. Anyway, so I'm in there a while, and just like her, I'm like, dude, just go. Don't stay here. I'll be fine. I'll call you or whatever. Well, when I left, it was like 3 hours later that she says I'm getting a room. I'm going to be in the hospital for God knows how long. She leaves. Just enough time for her to get home and start, feeding all the animals, they'd kick me out of the hospital. They have 3 nurses come in, and all they had was they had a 9 line on me, where they have the EKG where it takes it in like multiple different places. They had that on me, which is good. That's what you want. It'll tell you if something's going wrong in here. So I had all those stickers on me, and I had the blood pressure thing that was automatically pumping, and that was it. They come in there, they start taking all this stuff off me, and they're like, okay, you can go. I'm like, what? Yeah, you can go. So I put my shirt on, I grab my phone, I walk, like within 5 minutes, I'm on my back thinking, this is it. And then 5 minutes later, I'm standing in the parking lot calling, going, can you come back and give me a ride home? She's like, what? I just left. So I walked like a mile away from the hospital, kind of like on the road where she would be coming to get me. Because I literally felt better when the doctor's like, look, dude, you have some kind of anxiety thing going on because there is absolutely nothing wrong with your heart. You got a heart like a elephant or a bull or a moose or whoever has a good strong heart. Like, look, we did all your tests. They're all fine. I said, well, I have a scheduled doctor's appointment the next day. I had it because I had been having problems sleeping because I felt like I had some weird heart arrhythmia going on. I'd be fine all day long. When I go and lay down and get horizontal, all of a sudden I get this weird arrhythmia, this weird like bloop, 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 like it was beating weird or something. And then what happens? You start to stress out like something's wrong. You're having a heart attack. So after 2 months of this, I finally set a doctor's appointment because it wasn't every single time, but it was more often than not. So now I go to the doctor, tell him, look, I've been having this problem for 2 months. I was in the emergency room yesterday, and he wants to give me like super strong, addictive, antidepressant stuff. I'm like, what? Like, the stuff I don't know. You guys may be on it. I'm not judging. All I know is, if you guys know me, I'm not into that stuff. I don't like taking anything unless I absolutely have to, like antibiotics or something. Advil's about as strong as I take. Because I've been lucky with being healthy. I'm not saying it's not that I'm just cooler than everybody. I've been lucky to be healthy. Now they're saying, oh, Prozac or Xanax or something like that. And I hear those words and I'm like, wait a minute, that's like a pretty strong something that people get addicted to, and you hear about people using on the street. I'm like, why would you give me that? He goes, because you're having anxiety or panic attacks. I'm like, listen, there is something wrong with me. And yes, then I get stressed out. No one can identify it. My blood pressure was a little bit higher than it should be, right? And it's been 6 months ago, a year ago. He said, hey, here, gave me a prescription of some blood pressure meds, which I never took. Said, you're a little high, you're not exercising, you should take some stuff. And I never did. So me thinking I can diagnose myself, I'm like, I'm not taking Xanax or whatever. I don't even know, lorazepam. I don't know what it was. It's something to screw with your head, not with physically helping you. So I'm like, what if I take some that blood pressure? It's a little tiny pill, 10 milligrams, and it's a ACE inhibitor, which means it doesn't thin your blood, it expands your blood vessels. Makes it easier, and it's actually good for your heart if you've had issues with your heart. I'm like, all right, I've got it. I read up on it. It's only a little pill, 1 pill, 10 milligrams a day. Pop that sucker in. And since then, I haven't had that weird feeling in my chest when I lay down. I do feel something, but I don't feel, I guess I didn't get to the point. I would get this feeling, I would stress out, it would kind of give me a little breathlessness. I'd have to get up and stay up all night. So I wasn't getting to sleep. Taking this little blood pressure thing, Yeah, it lowered my blood pressure a little bit. It's nothing big, and it's not an addictive thing. It's an ACE inhibitor, something, linadrol, linaprol, I don't know, 10 milli. So since then, I haven't had any problems with my, this. And if it was, quote, anxiety, it's taken that away too, because I don't feel this weird thing. But I still feel something when I lay down. Normal heartbeat doesn't feel that way. So I still think something's going on. But they're telling me no, it's not. So it might all be in my stinking head. Bottom line is, that's what's taken up the last 3 weeks why there hasn't been a video. Something I've just never had to deal with my whole life. The doctors and the emergency room doctors said, you need to start exercising. They didn't say you need to lose weight, you need to do this, you need to start exercising, period. So over the years, I've gone, I need to lose weight, and I've done like 10, 20 pounds, put it back on. I did 30 pounds. It took me a couple years to put that back on, but it was always just weight loss. And the weight loss was done through diet, not exercise. So I literally haven't exercised in decades. I'm not exaggerating. They're like, look, your cholesterol is starting to come up a little bit. It's still good, but it's starting to come up. And your blood pressure, you need to actually exercise. Aerobic exercise, breathing, running, walking, jogging, whatever, bicycling. So that's where I'm at. I've hit my low that I can, be lazy, and now it's time to actually get my acting gear. So what I'm thinking about doing is having the regular videos still, and I talked to people about this already on the stream. Thinking about doing a video maybe once a week, talking about what I'm doing for my health, and possibly what I share with some of you guys might help someone out there. Even if it helps one person, it's totally worth it. So I'm thinking about that. If you guys have any ideas about that, feel free to let me know. I know this video was whack. I've been talking for 22 minutes here, I can see on the camera, but I wanted to share that all with you because it's important to me that you guys know what's been going on. I haven't been just like in Vegas shooting craps with all the money I make on YouTube. I've been having some issues. I feel good. She's doing good. She actually went to the doctor today to get blood test. I want her to get reevaluated to see the blood pressure medication that she's on, make sure that it's like up to date and the best thing for her, because she's been on it for a long time. Maybe it's not the best thing for her anymore. And I didn't know anything about it, but this one that I took had no side effects. I didn't feel nothing happened. It's only 10 milligrams. So she went to get a blood test so they can reevaluate to see maybe because she actually takes one pill once a day and one pill 3 times a day. Yeah, that sounds like, wait a minute, that's too much. That's like old school tech or something. Doesn't sound right there. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Wanted to share that with you all. That way, so like I'm gone for a month, I come back and go, hey, what's up? Nothing's been going on. Life's been happening a little bit. And honestly, it's a little bit weird for me, so I got to get my fat butt in gear and actually just start exercising. I do feel it. Like it's been so long that, I don't know, I just need to. And early on, I always felt really good that I was in shape, that I could do things and not get winded. I'm not saying I get winded, but I feel weaker, and it's time to start. My goal is to start walking first. I live in a very hilly area that you can walk around. Great streets, great sidewalks to walk around in. So I can get a good walk in. I've never been a runner, so I can get a good brisk walk in, but I actually want to incorporate working out again. I want to get back to the gym to get some of that strength back, because I go and try to lift things and I end up hurting myself now, because in my mind I can still lift it, but in reality I can't. So anyway, that's enough bumping my gums. I hope you guys enjoyed this little behind the scenes of what's been going on with me. Fear not, she's doing good, I'm doing good, but it is important for me to actually take this very seriously and get myself into shape. That way, if there's something that's happening, I know something's like physically actually wrong with me, not a mental thing, you know. It's not just in my head that I'm either have a real problem with my heart, or do I have a problem with anxiety, or do I have anxiety because I have indigestion? Did you know that all these things affect this area right here and you just don't know what it is? I'm just not used to it. You guys might be thinking I'm weird, but I'm not used to it, which has been good and a lucky thing. Now it's time to get up off my butt and fix it. So that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.